but man, it feels good being back out here in nature. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go ahead and get started, family. And man, please forgive me if I don't call out all your names. Man, I have a lot I want to talk about today. It's kind of a heavy topic, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? I'm talking about spiritual battles. Spiritual battles. Man, family. We live in the physical realm, in the third dimension. You know what I mean? And it's so easy for us to get caught up into the physicality of life. You know, so easy for us to get caught up in our physical needs, our emotional needs, our intellectual needs. You know what I mean? That we miss the fact that we are spiritual beings. We are spiritual beings. Stay with me. We're going to go somewhere today. It's going to get a little heavy. And it's going to be kind of for some of you. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Talking about spiritual battles today. You know what I mean? And one of the trip is that I talk a lot about ego. What's up? Sohei? I don't know if I pronounced that right. Kate, my apologies if I mispronounced your name. You know, one of the things with the ego is that the ego will have us convinced that things aren't the way that they really are. You know what I mean? What's up, Adrian? Yeah, the ego will have us convinced in thinking that things aren't the way that they really are. You know what I mean? The ego will give us a perception of life. And if we're not careful, if we're not paying attention, if we're not connected to God, we'll completely miss it. You know what I mean? We will completely miss it. And we'll go off on a tangent. We'll go off on a whole totally different spectrum, you know what I mean, than what we're supposed to, because our ego has us convinced that this is how it's supposed to be. This is how life is supposed to be. This is what you're supposed to be doing. And you'll completely miss it because you're not in alignment with God. And sometimes the ego will have you tripped up thinking that you are in alignment with God because you're religious. The ego will have you think that you're spiritual and that you're connected to God because you're doing tarot cards, you're doing readings and all this other stuff. And it'll have you convinced that, man, you're connected to God. And nothing could be further from the truth at that moment in your life. You know what I mean? It is what it is. You know what I mean? It is what it is. You know, man, it's going to get heavy today. You know what I mean? This is going to get heavy, you know? I've made videos about this in the past. The other day, man, I was laying there and I was like, man, God, what's going on? What's going on in my life? You know what I mean? I pray all the time. I'm constantly meditating. What's going on? You know, what's going on? What's going on around me? You know, and there's sometimes that you go through things and it seems as though, man, everything is falling apart. You know, and you know your intentions are pure. You know that you're doing what you're supposed to do. And it seems as though, man, nothing is going right. You know, it seems as though, man, what the hell? You know what I mean? And it's like, if you're not careful, you'll think that you're out of alignment. If you're not careful, you'll think that you missed the word of God. If you're not careful, you'll think that you'll miss the voice of God. If you're not careful, you'll start thinking, man, something's wrong with me. Something's wrong with me. You know what I mean? And then you'll start changing up. If you're not careful, you'll become ungrateful. If you're not careful, you'll become dogmatic and you'll become a victim. You know what I mean? If you're not careful, you'll start looking at all the things around you. You'll get caught up in the humdrum of life. You'll get caught up in the chaos. And you'll go negative. I'm going to tell you guys the secret of life, the secret of a successful life, the secret of being connected to God. The secret is gratitude. I've said this so many times in the past. The secret is gratitude. It don't matter what's going on around you. Can you stay grateful? It don't matter what your circumstances look like. Can you stay grateful? It don't matter if you just lost your job. Can you stay grateful? It don't matter if your finances is kind of funny. Can you stay grateful? See, because again, the great majority of us, we get caught up in this third dimension. We get caught up in life. We get caught up in the physicality of life. We get caught up in our feelings. We get caught up in our emotions. We get caught up in our intellect. And we completely miss it. There's a spiritual battle going on. You know, I made a live the other day about this, you know, the battle for your mind. You know, man, understand. We're going through it. You know, some of us, you know what I mean? Some of us, we just We ain't doing shit. You know what I mean? We ain't doing shit in life at all. You know what I mean? And we think we catching hell. We think that we going through it. You can't go through it if you ain't doing shit. I'm saying again, you can't go through it if you ain't doing shit. If your life ain't reflective of anything, you just sitting there, you ain't doing shit. It is what it is. You know what I mean? You don't have to be attacked spiritually because you're no spiritual threat. You don't oppose anything. And what I mean by that, you're no threat to anything because you're not about anything. Only people that gets attacked are people that are trying to do something. Only people that get attacked are people that are about that life because you pose a threat. So we're going to shut you down. We're going to come at you to get you to shut up, to get you to stop doing what you're doing. If you're not a threat, ain't nobody worried about you. If you're not a threat to what's going on, if you're not a threat to the greater awakening of humanity, if you're not a threat to spiritual entities, negative spiritual entities out there, man, ain't nobody worried about you. You ain't about shit. You know what I mean? It is what it is. It is what it is. And that's a hard pill for us to swallow. I hear so many people talking about, well, I've been this and I'm not going through anything, and I don't really go through this because you're not a threat. You don't intimidate anybody. You don't intimidate anything. And when I say intimidate somebody, I'm not talking about going out there and trying to intimidate somebody, scare somebody, any of that stupid stuff. I'm talking about spiritually. Spiritually, in the spiritual realm. So when I talk today, please understand, I'm not talking about in the physical being. I'm talking about in the spiritual realm. It don't matter how you look physically. It don't matter what you talk about physically. Do you have the spiritual capacity to back that up? Do you have the spiritual wherewithal to support all the stuff you're talking about? In the Bible, there's a scripture that talks about the disciples. Some of these people was out trying to do something, trying to cast out devils or whatever it is they're trying to do. And then these negative entities came out and said, man, Peter, James, and John, I know, but basically, who the fuck are you? What you about? You ain't about shit. You know, fuck out of here. And what they were saying was, man, all these other people, they put in the work. Oh, I know them. They validated. But who the hell are you? What have you done? What's your resume? What are you about? Because I ain't seen nothing that has your name written on it. In the spiritual realm, I ain't seen where you don't accomplish anything. In the spiritual realm, don't nobody know you up here. You ain't got no street cred up here. You faking the funk. You ain't about nothing. On earth, you might be somebody. On earth, you might be able to talk that talk and have some people listening to you and hyping you up. But up here in the spiritual realm, you ain't about that. You ain't about this life. Sit your ass down before you get hurt somewhere. And that's what they're telling them. And again, spiritual battles. Understand, there are certain people, there are certain entities that don't like what you're about. They know you have a calling on your life. They know you have a purpose. And they're going to do everything in their power to keep you from reaching that purpose because you pose a threat. Whether you understand that or not, whether you know who you are or not, and see, the great majority of us that have really gone through some shit, not because we've gone through some shit just because we've been stupid as fuck, not just because we've done some ignorant ass shit, but those of us that have gone through some shit, a lot of us, we have callings in our life. There's a purpose, a greater good. And so what these entities didn't want to happen, they didn't want you to come into an awareness of who you were. And so they had all these things come against you as a kid. They had all these things come against you to keep you from walking or keep you from waking up and becoming and understanding who you are, understanding what your purpose is, understanding the power that you possess. And so this is my hawk up there going. And so what happens in life for a lot of us, man, we learn to shut up. We get beat down so much verbally and emotionally as kids that we stop speaking. And what I mean when we stop speaking, man, we stop sharing the wisdom and the insight that God has given us. Why? Because we've been beat down so long. It's like, man, I'm done. Ain't nobody trying to listen to me. Everybody else, yeah. But when I try to say something, ain't nobody trying to hear me. And so we learn at an early age, we ain't shit. And so we take on that persona that we ain't shit. When in reality, we're the chosen one. When in reality, we're Neil. When in reality, we're the one. But we've been made to feel like we ain't the one. Why? So that we don't walk and talk and live as the one. And so, spiritual battles. And so we go through all this crap. We go through all this crap, and if we're not careful, we'll personalize it. We'll go through all this crap, and we'll personalize it like, dang, I really ain't shit. I really do have the devil in me. Man, I really am going to hell. Man, I'm really not lovable. Man, nobody really cares about me. Nobody really likes me. Nobody listens to me. I'm not accepted. We'll have on all these negative connotations. We'll take on all this negative crap. Why? Because it's a spiritual attack to keep you from walking in your power, to keep you from understanding who you are, to keep you silent. So you have all these distractions that come, whether there's family members, whether there's relationships, whether there's TV, whether it's sports, whether there's entertainment. You have all this distraction coming at you, bombarding you with life. Why? To keep you dumbed down, to keep you from waking up, to keep you from realizing who you are and why you're here. So we'll jump in relationships. We're looking for affirmations. We're looking for validation. We're looking for love. We're looking for all this stuff. Why? To fill this void that's within us. That void was put there for many reasons. The major reason was to keep you dumbed down, to keep you from understanding who you are. And so to fill this void, man, we start slamming dope. To fill this void, we start throwing back beer. To fill this void, we start smoking weed. To fill this void, we start having sex. To fill this void, we start banging. To fill this void, we pull out gas and just pop, 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 pop. We do all this stupid shit. Why? Because we're trying to fill that void, that emptiness. Some of us, man, we'll jump into religion. We'll go full throttle in religion and still have that void, still have that emptiness. Some of us will dive into education and still have that void, still have that emptiness. Why? Because it's not about religion. It's not about your education. It's not about how much sex you can have. It's not about how much money you can accomplish or how much money you could get. It's not about your career. It's about you walking in your purpose. And see, your ego, the evil entities, they'll allow you to do all these other quote unquote great things. Why? Anything. You can do anything you want. Just don't come aware of who you are. Just don't realize the potential you have. Just don't become who you're capable of being. We'll let you do anything in the world. We'll let you accomplish anything in the world. Just don't walk in your power. Just don't walk in your purpose. And see, because we think we're successful in all these other things, we think, man, that's why I'm here. I'm here to do this, and you completely missed it. And you think because you're successful in your education, you think you're successful in your career, you think you're successful in all that you're accomplishing, you think you're connected to God. Because you're successful in all these things, you think you're doing what you're supposed to do. You think you're walking in your purpose. Not even understanding that it's a trap. Not even understanding that it's a trick of the enemy. Because the enemy knows as long as he, she, it, whatever, can keep you distracted with all these other things, you'll never come into the awareness of who you are and why you're here. So, we got to come back to God. We got to come back to ourselves. We got to come back. We got to come back and understand, man, we have to be humbled. We have to be humbled because, see, we got to accomplish all this other stuff. And sometimes the worst thing for you is success. I'm going to say it again. Sometimes in life, a lot of times in life, the worst thing for you is to succeed at some things. Why? Because when you succeed at those things, you think, man, I'm feeling myself. Man, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. Man, this is the path I'm supposed to be on. Why? Because this is the road and it's easy and this is easy and I understand this and woo, doo, doo, woo, and blah, 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 blah. And God has said, no, no, no. You're off track. You're off track. You're led astray. But you're looking at the physical realm. You're looking at all the accomplishments. You're looking at all the accolades you're getting. You're looking at all the affirmations you're getting. And you think that's success. And it's a trip what we claim success is. We think all these awards, we think money, we think accomplishments, we think all this stuff is success. Not understanding that all those things that you may be getting may be a trick of the enemy to keep you stuck and to keep you from reaching your purpose, where you find true success. So the other day, I was laying there and I'm just talking to God, just crying out to God. It's like, God, what's going on? Man, it's just, I felt this presence over me. And you see me, a lot of my videos, man, I'm out in the woods. Why? Because I'm holding onto trees. Man, I'm touching trees. I'm touching the ground. I'm putting my hands in the dirt. I'm putting my hands in the water. Why? Because I'm connected to nature. And it's not, and I know some of you can be like, oh no, I just need to pray. Yeah, you've been praying for years and you still ain't got where you're supposed to be. You've been praying for years and you still don't know who the hell you are. You've been praying for years and you still ain't accomplished what you came here to accomplish. Your religion has got you trapped. Your religious beliefs have got you stuck. It's a different video, different story. And so I'm doing all this stuff in nature because it's grounding me. I'm releasing all the excess negative energy and I'm receiving all this positive energy. I'm listening to the birds. I'm looking at the turtles and the squirrels and the deer, and I'm just looking at all the beauty that God has put here for our enjoyment, and I'm just taking it all in. I'm breathing in all this good oxygen and I'm just enjoying life and I'm connecting with God, and I'm like, man, talk to me. Talk to me. What am I missing? Help me get it. What am I missing? What am I doing wrong? How come this is not opening up the way it should? How come this is not working the way it should? How come these doors aren't being opened? What's wrong? This God had to show me, Elijah, a couple things. Why do you have to think? Why do you think everything has to open up this way? So you have preconceived notions how you think things are going to be. You have preconceived notions of how you want things to be. And when things don't appear the way you want them to appear, man, now you think there's something wrong. Just because it didn't come at the time you thought it would, just because it didn't open up the way you thought it would open up, now you think there's something wrong. Let go of that illusion. Either you trust me or you don't. Either you believe in me or you're not, or you don't. So what he'll show me is like, Elijah, all things work together for your good. You know this. Everything is always working out for you. You know this. Now, why are you asking me, how come this ain't working? How come this isn't that? How come this that? Why are you coming to me like this, like you don't know any better? Why are you coming to me like a spoiled little kid? Pouting because things ain't opening up to you like you think they should. Why are you, what's up, Ingrid? Why are you pouting and coming to me and whining and crying? But woe is me, and look at this, and this ain't happening, this ain't happening. Why are you doing this? We've been down this road. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, man, my bad. I had a relapse. And so God was showing me, it's like, Elijah, relax. Woosah. Exhale. So I'm sitting there, and I was on the phone with this young lady, and I'm just talking to her, and I wear all these crystals, and I'm just sitting there talking to her, and I'm like, man, whoop the whoop, and we just laughing and topping it up, and just happened to look down at my wrist, and one of my bracelets was broken, and it was tiger's eye, black onyx, black obsidian, and hematite. And that's like all three of those are like protected stones. You know what I mean? And I looked down and it's like, dang, this is broken. And so I took it off and I'm looking at it. It's like, dang, I got pieces missing to this. You know what I mean? Didn't realize that. Didn't realize that. And so I'm talking to her and I'm like looking at this. It's like, crap. All right, God. Just put it away. Didn't think nothing about it. So we laughing and talking, chopping it up. So the next day, I'm at the gym and I had on a black hematite, black tourmaline earring, right? And wore it all the time and getting dressed, look down, I see something rolling on the floor. My earring fell. I'm like, what the heck? I go pick it up. My earring is still in my ear, but the black tourmaline crystal stone had fell down. It was on the ground. It disconnected from my earring. And so I'm looking at it, pick it up. It's like, what the heck? Just put it in my pocket. Don't think nothing about it. Go home. Later on that night, I'm sitting and I'm talking to this young lady. And I'm gonna talk about that Yamila in just a second. I'm gonna get to that right now. And so I'm talking to this young lady. Man, I'm in a good mood, but I feel like this heaviness. I feel this heaviness on me, all about me. You know what I mean? It's not on me, but it's about me. You know what I mean? I could feel this pressure, this tension. You know what I mean? But I'm good, but I still feel this pressure. I feel this tension. And it's like I'm meditating. It's like, God, what is it? 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 And so I can't get it. I can't understand what's going on. But it's like, all right. So I lay down. As soon as I lay down, my legs cramped up. And when I say my legs cramped up, man, my legs cramped up, both of my legs at the same time. And I jump up and I'm in excruciating pain. I take care of myself. I drink plenty of water, exercise properly, stretch. I do all this stuff, right? And it's like there's no reason for my legs to cramp up. No, there was no reasons whatsoever for my legs to cramp up. But my legs cramped up on the inside, both of them. And they're locked. And I can't move but my upper body. And I'm excruciating pain to the point where my eyes are watering. And I'm covering my mouth trying not to scream because I'm in so much pain. And I'm in my mind because I can't say anything. I cannot verbalize anything. So I have to talk in my head. Stay with me. We're talking about spiritual battles. And so in my mind, I'm crying out to God. God, help me. God, help me. God, what's going on? God. I'm crying out to God inside my head. And it's loud because I can't say nothing with my mouth because I'm in so much pain. And my hand is covering my mouth. Nothing's coming out of my mouth. I'm trying to speak with my mouth, but nothing's coming out. So it's loud in my head. The pain don't go away. I'm trying to move around. I'm trying to stretch. I'm trying to do everything I can, crying out for help. Nothing's happening. God help me. 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 Nothing's happening. A few minutes later, the pain subsides a little bit, just a little bit. So I'm able to get up. And I can't really walk because my legs are locked up still, but the throbbing sensation, like the knife just right there on the nerve, that's gone away, but it's still locked up and it's still tight, it still hurt. I walk over to the refrigerator and I grab some olives, just the salt, because salt will take out the cramp, right? And so it's the sodium in it. And so you drink some pickle juice or some green olives or green olive juice or whatever, something like that. Even apple cider vinegar, all that stuff works, right? So I grab some of these green pickles and I eat them. And the pain goes away. The cramp loosens up, right? And I'm like, oh, God. Oh. I'm breathing hard because I'm in so much pain. I walk over to the bed and I lay back down. And I'm thinking I'm good. And I lay back down. And it hits me again. And I'm locked up. Same spot. I'm crying. I'm not trying not to cry. No, tears are coming down my eyes. I'm in so much pain. And again, I'm wanting to scream out, but I can't say nothing. My hands is covering my mouth. But I want to cry. I want to scream, but I can't scream. I'm in so much pain. and my legs are locked up, and I can't turn from side to side. I can't stretch them. I can't do anything. It's going from my groin all the way down to my foot. And I'm in so much pain. And I'm crying out to God, God help me, God help me, God help me. God, what's going on? God, what's going on? Nothing happened. Tears are just running down my eyes. Tears is running down my eyes. I'm like, okay, God, what is it? 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 No answer. The pain subsides a few minutes later. I get up, go back to the refrigerator. I hobble to the refrigerator again, get some more pickles, and I just drink some of the juice this time. Go back, I'm better. You know, the cramp, the muscle relaxes. Now go back. And again, understand, I bodybuild. I know I've drunk over 1.5 gallons of water that day. There is no reason for me to have been dehydrated. I know I wasn't dehydrated. You know what I mean? I drank plenty of water. Plenty of water. When I take a leak, my urine normally is clear because I drank so much water. Stay with me. And so I know, man, I know I'm not dehydrated. I didn't work my legs today. There's no reason for them to be cramped up the way that they're cramped up. But I'm in so much pain, right? So I lay back down. And I'm thinking, okay, God, it's gone. I lay there, get comfortable. Bam! Third time it hits me. Tears running down my eyes. It's killing me. It's killing me. It's killing me. I'm crying. I'm crying. Now I'm just talking to God. God, help me. God, what's going on? God, what's going on? And here, it's a spiritual attack. It's a spiritual attack. As soon as I heard that, it's like, oh God. And the old me, I want to know who's attacking me. Why? Because it's war. I wanted to know, man, where's this coming from? I'm laying there the third time. And I'm like, God help them. God help them. All right, God. And so I'm saying all these affirmations. And I'm like, God, why didn't you tell me this? God, why didn't you tell me this? He said, Elijah, I showed you, but you wasn't paying attention. I told you you were up under spiritual attack. I gave you warnings that you were up under spiritual attack. You was not paying attention. I said, what are you talking about? You told me. What are you talking about? You showed me. He said, Elijah, when your crystal bracelet was broken, you know better. You know what that means. When those bracelets break like that just randomly. Man, Elijah, those bracelets broke because somebody was trying to attack you spiritually, and those bracelets absorbed all of that negative energy. What was meant to hurt you, the bracelets took that pain. What was meant to hurt you, those bracelets absorbed that energy. This is a spiritual thing. Most people don't understand that. Oh, whatever, he don't want that. It's okay, to each their own. To each their own. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to help you. Whether you accept it, embrace it, reject it, that ain't got nothing to do with me. And so what God was telling me is like, Elijah, those bracelets absorbed that energy that was meant to hurt you. Those bracelets absorbed the pain that was meant to get you. But you wasn't paying attention. You didn't remember that. The other day, yesterday, when you were at the gym and you just got out the shower and your black tumbling earring fell out your ear. For no reason. The back is still connected, the front part's connected, the stone just fell off. Elijah, when the crystals fall like that, when they crack and break like that, again, they're absorbing the energy that was meant to attack you. They're absorbing the negative energy. Everything is energy. Let me say it again. Everything is energy. And so when people speak curses over you, when people speak, man, they want you to fail. When people say, man, they do stupid stuff and they want something bad to happen to you. When people say crazy stuff about you, man, that's an attack. That's a spiritual attack. Just because you don't understand the purpose of the crystals don't mean that they don't have a purpose. Everything that God created has a purpose. Again, the late Dr. Miles Monroe said, man, purpose is not known, abuse is inevitable. I'm saying it again, where purpose is not known, abuse is inevitable. Just because you don't understand the purpose of a thing doesn't mean that it doesn't have a purpose. Dandelions have a purpose, but because we're so freaking ignorant and stuck on stupid, we see dandelions as a weed, not even understanding the medicinal benefits to it. And so we'll take all this poison and spray it in these dandelions, trying to kill them because we see them as useless weeds. We see them as unnecessary, stinging nettle the same way. Not even understanding the fact that God put them here for a purpose. And that purpose was to help us heal. That purpose was to help our bodies. But because we're not connected to God like we think we are, because we think we're so spiritual, we think we know so much, and we're so stuck on stupid. We don't know what we think we know. And so what God was showing me is like, Elijah, you have those crystals, and those crystals absorb the energy. They absorbed a lot of the attack that was directed at you. This time, the attack came, and you had to go through it. Why? Because I had to get your attention. You had to feel the pain. Why? Because I needed to get your attention. I needed you to see that you were being attacked spiritually. And although it was painful, although you were crying, although you were suffering, it could have been so much worse. And the intent was to harm you a lot worse. The intent was to take you out the game. The intent was to shut you up forever. And so your crystals had to break. And so your earring had to fall out. Why? Because it absorbed the pain and the hatred that was directed at you. Talking about spiritual battles. This is not the stuff that they teach you at church. They don't teach you this stuff at church. And so we have to grow up. We have to grow up and understand there's a whole lot of people out there that are miserable for whatever reason. For whatever reason, they're miserable. For whatever reason, they're full of hatred. For whatever reason, they're full of bitterness and animosity and jealousy. And so the fact that you're alive is intimidating to them. The fact that you're alive, the fact that you've gone through all the hell that you've gone through is a threat to them. The fact that you've gone through all the hell that you've gone through and you're still a loving being, you're still a caring being, and you're still giving and trying to help humanity pisses them the fuck off. Because they don't understand why you got so much joy. They don't understand why you're so happy. Why are you so loving after you've gone through all the hell you've gone through? And so they're mad at you. They're threatened by you. They're intimidated by you. The fact that you're doing things that they can't do pisses them off. And so you have all this negative stuff out there, and people see your posts, and people see your pictures, and people see what you're doing, and they hear about what you're doing, and man, they're mad because they're not in your life anymore. They're mad because they can't do it. They're mad because they could have been with you, and they fucked it off. They're mad because you won't get back with them. You won't give them another chance. They're mad because they told everybody you wasn't shit. You wasn't gonna amount to shit. And now they're looking at you like, oh fuck, this motherfucker's actually doing some shit. This motherfucker's actually making a difference. Oh fuck. He's doing more than what I'm doing. He's accomplishing more than what I'm accomplishing. There's millions of reasons why people are haters. There's millions of reasons why people just don't like you. And so it's a spiritual battle. And so what we have to do, most of us, if the truth be told, we get pissed off when we find out that somebody's trying to attack us. And the truth is, most of us want to get up in our, and they're like, man, I'm calling down my ancestors and I'm calling down all and we want to do all the stupid shit that they're doing. Hurt people hurt people. Healed people heal people. Let me say it again. Hurt people hurt people. Healed people heal people. And so when you've been attacked spiritually, this is what I do. This is what I do. Something that I learned a while back when I couldn't go to sleep at night. And my mind was just constantly spinning and just running, just and I'm just thinking, having all these thoughts just bombard me. And I'm laying in bed at nighttime, not just restless, you know what I mean? Just frustrated, just mind just going. One thing I learned was like, okay, I learned that was a spiritual attack. Stay with me. That's a spiritual attack. And see, in my ignorance, I thought it was because I was so deep. In my ignorance, I thought it was, man, I'm just a deep thinker. I think a lot. And because I think a lot, now that I'm resting, now that I'm relaxed, all these thoughts are coming to my mind. My ego was playing fucking games on me and I didn't even know it. My ego had me thinking that, man, look how deep you are. Look how smart you are. You're thinking about all this stuff. No, it was a spiritual attack. And so what I realized was, man, they didn't want me to get any sleep. They didn't want me to get any rest. And so what I did was like, okay, challenge accepted. Challenge accepted. And what I mean by that, all right, you don't want me to sleep. You don't want me to have any peace. You want me to think about all this other crazy stuff, right? Talking to whatever negative entities out there that's doing all this, right? All right. Ego, you don't want me praying for, you don't want me doing all this? Bet. So now, every time you wake my ass up, every time you try to keep my ass awake, I'm going in full throttle prayer and meditation for my loved ones. I'm going in full throttle prayer and meditation for humanity. I'm going in full throttle prayer and meditation for the world. You don't want me to sleep? Cool, it's war. It's war. And I guarantee you, you're going to leave me the fuck alone. I guarantee you, you're not going to want me praying. I guarantee you, you're not going to want me meditating. So you're going to leave my ass alone so I can go to sleep. I stopped having those issues. I stopped having those issues. I no longer was attacked at nighttime like that. So when I go to sleep now, man, I'm just out. Why? Because I put in the work. And I meant what I said, and I said what I meant. If you're going to mess up my sleep, cool. I'm going to do something productive. You don't want me to go to sleep? Cool. I'm going to get up, and I'm going to do something positive for my family. I'm going to speak blessings over my family. I'm going to speak prayers over my family and my loved ones and over humanity. If I'm not going to go to sleep, then I'm going to go to war over my family, over my loved ones, over the country. I'm not that one. We're not going to sit here and just argue and going back and forth. You're not going to just keep fucking up my sleep and I not do nothing about it. It's a spiritual attack. It's a spiritual battle. Most of us don't know how to engage in a spiritual battle. Most of us don't even understand that we're in a spiritual battle. And so, now, when these people say whatever it is that they say, when these people speak these curses over me, these people attack me spiritually, whatever it is that they do, man, I look at it, man, God, I'm sending them love. God, I'm sending them love. I don't care who it is. I'm sending them love. Why? Because hurt people hurt people. Heal people heal people. They're hurt. They need love. They need healing. Me trying to hurt them anymore, that's not going to do it. That's what they're used to. They're used to people hurting them. That's what they know. So I'm going to send them love. I'm going to send them healing. I'm going to send them peace. And so, later that night, same night after I went through all these crimes, later that night, went to sleep. And I had a dream. And it wasn't even a dream. It was, what is it? Like, it's like an astral travel, right? Stay with me. I'm just gonna say dream for the sake of trying to explain astral traveling, astral projection, all that other stuff. All right, that's another video. And so, for the sake of this conversation, I had a dream. And in this dream, this young lady that I used to date, this young lady that I used to care a whole lot about. You know, I still care a whole lot about her. I just don't want to be in a relationship with her anymore. You know what I mean? And so, she called me. And what I mean by she called me, she jumped off the balcony, off a 4th-story balcony, and fell and bust her head wide open. Blood's flowing from her head everywhere on the ground. And she's calling me, and it's like I'm not understanding that, you know. But I don't know how she called me, but she had her phone in her hand. In her last breath, she's calling me. In her last breath, before her spirit leaves her body, she's calling me. And she's telling me what she's done. And so I get to where she's at. And I look down, and where I'm in the building is all white, you know, all white. It's just all white. And it's like levels. And she went up to the 4th level and jumped. Wow! The ground was all white except for where the blood was going from her head. And so I'm up on the top level and I'm looking down and I can see this being, and I'm calling 911 because there's nobody around her. Nobody's coming to her. And so there's nothing going on, it's just her. And so I'm calling 911 and I'm telling them that this lady just called me and she's on the floor and she's bleeding everywhere and I think she's dead, and I'm trying to get down to where she's at, and I'm going down to where she's at. And I get down on the floor, and as I get there, the ambulance and all these the paramedics people get there, and the blood is going everywhere. And she's laying there on the ground. And she has the phone like this. And it's as though her last breath was to call me and to tell me what she did. I don't know if that had anything to do with the dreams or not, or the attack that I went through or not. I'm not insinuating that it did. Spiritual battles. Spiritual battles, we're always warned. We're always informed of what's going on if we pay attention. Most of us, we're not paying attention. We're not mindful of what's going on in the spiritual realm. And so we miss it. My kid's mom, my younger kid's mom, man, was married for a few years, and God gave me a dream. And in the dream, was driving this garbage truck. And she pulled off her wedding ring and just threw it up inside the truck. And I was like, what the heck? Why'd you do that? I was like, I couldn't understand why'd you just do that? And I'm talking to her, why'd you do that? That doesn't make it, that's not even logical. What the heck? Why would you just throw your wedding ring away? And she's like, I don't know. Something just came over me and just told me to throw it away. And so the dream ended. And so a year and a half later, she moved out. She wanted to get divorced. And I'm mad at God because I tried to do everything right in this relationship. everything right in this relationship. And she left. And I'm brokenhearted and mad at God because, man, this woman I thought you gave me, look, she just gave up on the marriage. She just walked away from the marriage. What the heck is this? And God was like, Elijah, I told you. I'm like, what are you talking about? You told me. He said, Elijah, I showed you this. It's like, no, you didn't. He said, Elijah, I gave you a dream. I warned you that she was throwing the marriage away. When she took off her ring and y'all was together and she just threw it away and she told you she didn't know why she did it. She told you something just came over her and just told her to do it and she did it. And so God was telling me, Elijah, there's always warnings, but you have to pay attention to the signs. In order to see and recognize the signs, you got to be connected to God. You can't be distracted. We're always in a spiritual battle. Always. There's always people speaking negative against you. There's always people wishing your demise. There's always people hating on you because you don't talk the way they want you to talk, because you don't dress the way they want you to dress, because you don't believe and spew the dogma that they do, because you don't have a political opinion that's like theirs, or whatever the case may be. There's always going to be haters. And so what God had to show me was their hate is your confirmation. Say it again. Their hatred is your confirmation. Your confirmation that you're in alignment with God. Your confirmation that you're doing what you're supposed to do. Don't get distracted and get pissed off and get angry because of their hate. Don't allow their hate to affect you in a negative way. Don't personalize their hatred because it's not about you. And that's the real reason I'm making this message. Their hatred and all the crazy stuff that they do, it's not about you. The spiritual attacks, the spiritual battle is not about you. It's about the God within you. It's about the righteousness within you. And their rejection of God, their rejection of that righteousness. They see you and think it's you. But it's the energy within you. It's the God within you that they see and they don't understand and they can't stand and they hate and they reject. They see your physical being, but it ain't your physical being. Everything is energy. They hate your energy. They hate your vibration. They hate your God nature. And so we have to understand what's going on. And so when you see their hatred, when you hear their hatred, send them love. It doesn't mean that you have to stay in a relationship with them. It don't mean that you have to keep entertaining their foolishness and their stupidity. You know what I mean? Just send them love. And a lot of them you're going to have to cut off. A lot of them you're going to have to block. Unfortunately, a lot of them are family members. It is what it is. Send them love and let it go. Keep doing you. Keep walking in your God-given purpose. Regardless of what other people say, regardless of what other people do, regardless of what your circumstances look like. My grandma used to always tell me, the devil always starts messing right before God starts blessing. So again, the devil always starts messing right before God starts blessing. And so what happens is, so many of us, we see the attacks from the enemy, and we get frustrated. And so we're going in this direction right here, but now we got the devil attacking us over here. We got family members attacking us over here. We got exes attacking us over here. We got co-workers attacking us from over here. We got bosses and all this other crap attacking us from over here. And so what we do is we're going this way, but we take our eyes off the prize. We take our eyes off of what we're supposed to be doing, and now we turn this way, and we focus all of our energy, all of our attention on all of these attacks, and we're missing it. We're missing it. Now we're going this way where the attacks are going. And we stopped walking in our purpose. We got off our path. Not understanding how we kept going. A few more steps was our blessing. A few more steps was our breakthrough. But we got distracted with the foolishness. And we forfeited our breakthrough. We forfeited our blessing. Man, family, my hope and prayer is that you stay true to the game. And what I mean by the game, you stay true to why you came here. And you can only understand why you came here by getting in alignment with God. By getting in alignment with God and understanding your purpose. And understanding that we all have free will. But once you get in alignment with God, you understand that, man, not my will, but thy will be done. Thy will be done. Why? Because thy will is my best interest. Thy will is me reaching my full potential. Thy will is me walking in my power. Thy will is me walking in my purpose, me walking in my authority. So allow thy will to become my will. And my will becomes thy will, because thy will is now my will. Because we're connected. We're one. We're one. I love you guys. Man, get out, enjoy your weekend. Wherever you're at. Spend some time in meditation. Spend some time alone, talking to God and understanding who you are. And if you have any hatred, any animosity, any bitterness, anxiety, or whatever in regards to people in your life, man, family, bless them. Bless them. Send them love. Send them healing. Send them healing and send them love. I love you. Happy healing.